Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're going to be jumping into the world of Vechain, taking a look at the VET charts to see what's going on with the price action here. As we get into it, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop, take a look at these charts, and see what's going on here with Vechain. Okay, guys, so we're going to actually spend some time here just pointing out how wrong I was to start with. So this actually was an impulsive move to the downside, but actually it got a reversal. So I'm going to walk you through what's going on here on the hourly and then what I expect to happen next. So basically what we have here is a down move, okay? We have this with our, what would have been our A wave, okay? I'll grab that. As we pull this down onto the B wave high, you can see that we actually went down and wicked below that 1.382. This effectively made that an impulsive move down. And then we were expecting a fourth wave up and a pull back down into the lower ranges. Now, obviously, we had the pull up into our fourth wave. This was fine. This was expected. And then actually we saw a pull back and then another push up. That completed an ABC move. So you could argue that that was your fourth wave. And then obviously we pulled right down here and we basically have... we've almost kind of gone back up to a double top here and basically failed to have that downward swing to the downside here with this fifth wave. Now, it is still potentially on the horizon here until we break higher than our effectively our wave 2 count, but it does look like we've deviated away and that we are not likely to get that pullback that was expected at this point. Okay, so right now this actually looks like an ABC. And then an ABC up with an ABC down, and then of course now we're tracking for an ABC to the upside. But we are waiting to track higher than this point here after we pull back down. This basically will confirm that we're actually in a new trend to the upside, okay? So for now I'm going to leave that there, but it does look like this is not going to play out, and it looks more likely that we are ending up with an A here, a B here, and then a C wave higher. And if we actually measure that distance, we'll be looking for actually a pretty shallow one, to be fair, but it would be about 8.7 cent around that range, just going higher than that fourth wave there, basically invalidating it. And I think ultimately we'll end up moving in a different direction at that point. It's very possible though that this ABC in itself could then lead us down lower, again actually taking us into these points, but I think that would be a different wave count. I don't want to kind of confuse matters by calling it an ABC, sorry, a 1 2 3 4 5 after such a deviation away from it. So it's still possible we do end up down there, but I don't think it's inside this particular wave count, and therefore I'm more inclined to say that actually we have an ABC moving up here, taking us out towards that 8.7 cent range. And again, that stochastic RSI will potentially take us there pretty comfortably, before potentially having a smaller ABC or a bigger ABC to the downside. So on this smaller time frame, I am expecting a small push to the upside, 8.7 approximately, and then a pull back with an ABC. And again, once we have the A wave form, we'll know how deep that thing goes, whether it's a deep ABC corrective move or just a really short and snappy ABC to then allow us to continue that growth to the upside. The stochastic RSI is what we're using here to monitor the price momentum as to whether or not we are going to wipe it out very fast and without doing too much price damage, or whether or not we are going to see a slower steady burn to the downside. Okay, but obviously this is the smallest time frame, right, the hourly, and this is kind of what I'm expecting to happen over the next few days. We'll have to monitor that situation, but it's looking less and less likely that we're going to come down towards these ranges here of 7.3. Obviously, this red box was the zone I was aiming for, thinking that this is going to be a good opportunity to be buying into. Obviously, there's a possibility that we do end up coming down here, but I think it's under a different wave count if it does happen. Okay, so this actually now looks like an ABC. I actually will remove that. ABC down, ABC up, but then potentially an ABC down. Now, this does look like a continuation pattern, which does lead me to think that we might end up with a slightly deeper ABC to the downside, so going slightly lower than we had previously. Okay, and again, you could measure and argue that that whole thing equates to a much bigger, like a daily ABC move, for example. Okay, so I think it's possible. Whether we end up going all the way down to this lower area is still to be seen. But for now, just be prepared to kind of see that downtrend here, continuation, potential downtrend, and before getting the reversal. Now, this is obviously the hourly move or hourly chart, so the micro movements, they are really kind of small. You don't necessarily notice them if you're a long-term hodler, and that's really where the daily chart comes in. Now, the daily chart's looking very, very good. As I've spoken about this a few times, right? We obviously have the Elliott wave triangle here, and the A, B, C, D, E waves. Inside these, obviously, is we're actually kind of trying to push our way up to wave D right now. This is something that's going to take some time on the daily chart, several weeks. And then obviously once we get to the top of wave D, do be prepared, because I think we're likely to pull right the way back down into those lower ranges of where we are right now. And that's likely to kind of be the point where we actually then start to see a really big impulsive move to the upside overall. So as this triangle plays out, nothing is set in stone until we get the completion of wave D and we start to see the pullback in wave E. Once we start to see that pullback with wave E, we're pretty confident at that point that this is likely to play out with a big impulsive move to the upside. So right now, obviously where we are, we're trying to get this thing moving back up towards that wave D. Now, our stochastic RSI on our daily has come down nicely, and this is now allowing us to see some pretty decent growth within this daily chart. So that's going to be a pretty good thing to kind of watch out for and to monitor. But I do expect Vechain to be one of the really good performers for the portfolio in 2022. Again, I will probably end up doing an exit strategy for the members, recapping or kind of redoing the one that we had previously. I think times have changed a little bit, so we'll be doing that, and we'll be reviewing all of the different strategies that we have on all of those altcoins for the members as well. So if you're not yet a member, do check out Patreon, join us there. And again, join us in Discord. We do a lot more stuff down in Discord. So right now, yeah, we're tracking this this triangle. This should lead us to an impulsive break to the upside, and again, we'll be monitoring that. Now, on our weekly chart, again, this really gives you that kind of understanding as to the bigger macro picture here of how we kind of get progression. Now, we can see the continuation pattern here from wave 4. This is actually pretty encouraging, and it's encouraging for a couple of reasons on this weekly. In a continuation pattern, if let me just draw I'll just draw a quick kind of diagram here, right? We have let's say 5 waves up, okay, and then you end up with a kind of really shallow ABC kind of corrective pattern, like a sideways pattern like this. This is what they call a continuation pattern, and this potentially then allows you to continue the trend that led into it. Okay, so you have that trend initially to the upside. If I actually grab hold of this, we had the trend to the upside, then we had our continuation, which is our sideways trading, and then we continued that trend that were led to that continuation pattern. So if we were trending down when we had a continuation, then we continue to trend down after that continuation pattern. But because we're trending up, we're trading sideways, we then trend up again afterwards. And that's kind of what you're seeing here, right? We had wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 is continuation, and then we are likely to get that break of impulsive move to the upside. That's kind of how I'm seeing the Vechain chart. So overall, the weekly is looking very, very good for Vechain. The daily is looking good, but we do need to see the completion of that D wave. And I think the hourly chart itself, I think we could potentially see a little bit more of a downside, but it's quite unclear as to what level or what degree until we see that A wave start to pull back down on the hourly chart. But overall, I think long term, as a long-term hodler, been invested in Vechain since 2020, and I think it's got some serious potential to it, and I think it's going to do incredibly well. So hopefully, you have found this video useful, guys. That's a nice short one, just to kind of give you a bit of an idea as to what's kind of going on with Vechain on the smaller timeframes, as well, of course, as the larger timeframes. If you have found it useful, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.